Well, Gobby, that's all I have for today. What else do you have that you want to chat about in the we're at about the 1 hour mark?
Yeah, I just told a couple of people I'd give an in-depth review on the movie It on the chapter 2. No, don't bother.
Yeah, go ahead, fire away.
I don't know. When it comes to horror movies, I'm a purist. I believe in substance of suspense over the CGI stuff of today. Any big budget movie that has 3 hours of 2.5 or almost 90% of that is levity and humor, and then you have 2 or 3 frightening scares, classifies as a horror, but it's not really a horror. So it was a good movie. Its production value is high, entertaining, but I'm more of a purist, and I preferred the original 1990 version, which was a miniseries, but still had more substance and genuine suspense over this one. But the 2 scenes that are terrifying are exceptionally terrifying, and that alone probably validates you going to see it if you're a horror fan or a fan of the Stephen King novel. I have a problem with some of the more big budget type movies that are more style over substance. That's pretty much it.
Okay, what is the best movie you've seen in the last 12 months?
The last what?
The last year.
Fuck. Jesus Christ, I should have an answer for that. The best movie I've seen in the last year would be fuck. God damn it. You can't throw that shit at me.
Come on.
About that. Nocturnal Animals. It's over a year old, but I saw it within the last 12 months. That was one of the strongest movies I've ever seen. Captive State. John Goodman, sci-fi. That was an incredible movie. Came out maybe in theaters about a year ago. I saw it maybe 10 months ago. Captive State. A movie for me has to make you think and has to have a strong ending. If it can throw in some suspense and some eerie shit, even the more better. But yeah, Captive State was strong.
We have completely different tastes in movies.
Yeah.
I would say my 2 favorite. Hey?
What about you?
In the last 12 months? Green Book.
That was an amazing. That's a great movie. That was a great movie. I saw that with my mom in the theater. That was a great movie. Great acting by Vigo. Vigo should have won that.
Yes, he should have, and maybe Bohemian Rhapsody. Even though, I like that movie a lot.
I got good reviews, but I hated Queen. I don't like that type of music. I was not a big fan of Queen, and I'm not homophobic by any means, but I'm not spending 2 hours watching about a bunch of gay guys sing. So, or one gay guy sing rather. A genre that I'm not interested in. there goes our homosexual fan base out the door. Fuck this guy, I'm out of here. Subs just went. Can our subs go down? Because subs start going down.
They can. People can unsubscribe based on. I think if we have any, we have our subscription base is probably hard to offend. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're hypersensitive, they probably didn't make it past episode 1. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, you have a good taste in movies. I just prefer more violent, darker stuff. But both, I've seen both those movies. I didn't see Bohemian Rhapsody, but Green Book was amazing. Yeah, amazing movie.
Yeah. I'm surprised you said that.
No, I like good movies.
Based on being being homophobic and all.
Was there a gay guy in Green Book? Oh, the black guy was gay. Good movie. Still a good movie. Good movie. I mean, yeah. Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks was gay, wasn't he? In Forrest Gump, was he gay or just slow?
No, no, he was not.
Slow. He was just slow, not gay. Sorry. I think we've done this before. I burn fences.
We're going to do last call in the comments section. If there's anything people want answered, now is the time, and we're going to give you about 2 minutes to throw those questions in there, and we'll see what we can come up with. James Stewart, does Matt have a chance of beating Devon this or next year? Well, this year is over, so Matt will not be beating Devon this year because they will not pull in WAL, and I believe it's in their contract that they cannot pull each other outside of the WAL. So I could be wrong. And if I am, so be it. But I don't believe you'll I don't believe that you'll see that match. I'm laughing because the comments rolling in are pretty funny. But next year, does Matt have a chance of beating Devon? I don't know if a match between them is even warranted at this point, because Devon has some pretty major wins and Matt has some work to do as far as moving up the roster in the super heavyweight division. If that did happen, it would be later in the season after Matt established a couple of dominant wins over some top super heavyweight guys. Gobby, what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, every year that goes by, I would say that Mask has an advantage. The problem is, I said this years ago, because Devon's, they're both aging, but Devon's older, so you would think he would fade out of his peak quicker than Matt. The problem is, with the new King move, you can argue that as Devon refines and perfects it and keeps executing it, that he becomes more proficient in it going into his 50s. God forbid. So the question is, it's conceivable that Matt never beats him. Now, at any point, if they would face off in round one of the World Championships, WAF World Championships, I got $1,000 on Matt. We're talking.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. They won't allow you. Look at Devon's match with Matt over the last few years. Devon bails to get the strap very late. No problem for Wall, but Wall, that's a foul. Pins will get called. Elbow fouls will get called. Devon jockeying to try to intimidate Mask will not be allowed. Straight up rigid arm wrestling, Devon's in trouble. I said it on Facebook yesterday that Devon right now will struggle to beat any Tier 4 and some Tier 3 pullers in a tournament-style setting. And they laughed at me, and I still stand by that statement because in the last year he hasn't proven otherwise. Can Matt beat him? Sure he can. But if we're talking wall roster, wall card, no, probably not. Not for the next 5-10 years. Matt will end up retiring because that's a tough move to beat in that setting, with that environment, with those rules. Matt would almost have to leave that league and challenge Devon in another league, with a league that executes rigid rules. More fair rules. More equitable rules.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have much to offer on that.
People for years, especially in Canada and in the U.S. as well, have been claiming for damn near a decade that Crazy George is the best arm wrestler on the planet under 176. Okay, yet he's never won a world title. The best he's done is third, and he's been there twice, I believe, and his best finish was third. The reason he doesn't go back is because his trade is hard to apply with rigid rules. So he goes down the road 3 hours every year, and he goes to their own classic where the reffing is so fucking loose and the pin pads are a half inch shorter. That plays perfect to his move. So he can win Arnold 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years in a row. But if he's the best in the world, why isn't he on the Worlds? And he can get sponsored. People would, if he did a GoFundMe account, he'd get fucking $20,000 to go to Worlds. Why doesn't he? Because he knows he wouldn't do well. He'll say he doesn't want to travel. The reason is his move. That move does not do well with rigid, strict, fair rules.
We have one question. Jake Houston saying, what are the next events for both of you? For me, it's October the 5th. I'll be competing against Richard Lepkes. And that's a super match that I've been wanting to get back for a long time. It's now come up, so I'll be going to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan to have that match in the Fit to Fight Arm Wrestling League, which Sheldon Short also said, do you think we'll cover any of the Fit to Fight super matches? I could see a prediction show coming up just before that event. So what's next for you?
For me, it looks like it's going to be the New England Championships in mid-October. I forget the exact date. I know it's in October. Josh Grant runs it, and it's usually, awesome medals, cash to top 3 or top 2, a couple $100. It's stacked. The venue's always awesome. I've been to 3 of his events, and they're always incredible. I know RVJ's going, and I know Brendan is already predicted he's going to win the 225 class, uncontested. So I'm going to go there and pull, but I'm also going to enjoy watching to see RVJ slap the smile right off that kid's face. So yeah, and it's only 3.5 hours down the road for me. I'm right on the U.S. border, so for me these tournaments are not that far. So there might be something in between. I don't know, but I'm most likely that'll be one. And then I'm kind of eyeing maybe Michael Todd's event in Arkansas in November, maybe, depending if I got some time off coming in November, I might do that. That's it.
Okay. Does it benefit Wall to actually attempt to tighten up the rule or continue with the current lax reffing? I think it probably benefits for them to just stay the course right now. I don't ever want to see. There's got to be a happy medium. So what I dislike the most about watching Igor's events is watching 10 minutes of somebody setting up to have an arm wrestling match and then 2 seconds of arm wrestling. That, to me, is not realistic in the North American audience for someone to watch that happen. So I do appreciate the way the setups are done in WAL, that they're very quick. So, in my opinion, it's somewhere in the middle. What are your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, when you consider the fan base, it definitely would not be to their advantage to go to rigid rules, like in Europe. But like you said, it's not so much of the rules; it's so much a ref has a lot more control than people think. What happens in like Zloty and stuff like that, the ref makes a call, elbow, whatever, and then the pullers will go and fuck around and this and that. When the ref can really say, okay, back, it's a warning, it's a foul, it's not a 30-second reprieve. Get back on the table, let's rock and roll, let's do this, come on. So there's a way to call rigid rules, but also expedite the speed of the match. Refs tend to, especially when you talk to elite pullers, and there's a foul called, the pullers like to, especially when the camera's on them, take a couple feet back, rub their arm, do this, listen to their coach, and then slowly come back to the table where you have 25 seconds wasted. So the ref can easily not get intimidated or not give a fuck and say, listen, back to the table, come on, I'll warn you, but let's get this done. So there's ways, but like you, the answer is somewhere in the middle. I don't have all the answers, but I know it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. So 2 questions here, and then we'll close the show. Candy, Withrow, Passmore. Paul Douglas Passmore versus Herman Stevens. Thoughts?
I talked to Herman about this. This is an awesome match. The reason I'm going to give Herman the edge on this is because Paul's probably stronger. Paul's mechanics are somewhat loose.
Wait a minute. You're going to get to where you're giving Herman the edge because Paul is a stronger man?
He's a stronger man. Does the stronger man always win an arm wrestling match? We know this, right? The stronger man, not the strongest arm wrestler. The stronger man does not always win the match.
Right.
What's going to happen is he has a more defensive style, and when he's open in his hook, his angle is slightly open. Herman will stay tight with pronation, and Paul will probably hold him off for 20 seconds. I don't know, but because from a mechanical, technical standpoint, I give Herman the edge. Not because he's stronger. Parts of him might be stronger. It's just his game is a little bit more tight and refined over Paul's. So I give Herman the edge to win that.
Okay. I don't have an opinion. I think it's awesome. I think that it'll be an entertaining match. But I can't really offer you a ton because, I haven't seen Herman pulling a ton lately. And, Paul just won a super match. But let's close out the show with this question because it is... Oh, wait, Janine says, I agree that 10-minute setup for 1 second match is bullshit. It's also tiring on everyone, audience and athletes. And then she says, watch out for Derek Penner. I agree. Derek's awesome. But Derek needs to train consistently for a good period of time so he can achieve his potential. So, Janine, there's that. You can take that back to him and fill him in on what I just said. Candy Withrow Passmore says, Gobby, I bet a homemade lasagna on Paul.
You're on. My lasagna is probably not half as good as yours. Actually, it probably sucks, but you're on.
Yeah, I think, Candy, if you win, you might lose anyway. So, we have the last question, and it's Josh Wood. And I think that I tend to see his point in this. Has Michael not used the King's move in all leagues and won? And he has. He has used the King's move in all leagues and won, even under rigid rules.
Has he won? Does he actually have a? I know he says he's multiple-time world champion. Has he ever won a WAF? Has he?
No, he has not won a WAF.
Okay. Has he won a Nemirov's Zloty tournament title? No, he hasn't. He's won super matches. The King's move is made for super match format, where you can bleed your opponent every match in concession, or leagues with loose rules. So, how many world titles he claims he has? He has 0 Zloty world titles, and he has 0 WAF titles. So the guy says he's dominated every league. I beg to differ.
No, that's not what he said. He said he has used them in all leagues and won. Oh. So the statement is true.
Yeah. I've gone on dates wearing tight shirts with many, many women, and it doesn't always work. Like, it doesn't mean it's successful just because you use the same template every time, right?
No, but the point is, his King's move can be adapted to different rule sets. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I give him credit. I give him credit in fully committing to that move. He's been doing that for a long time. He's fully committed. No, he doesn't adjust or change it depending on who or where he's pulling. The King's move is a King's move, and he stands behind it 100%. Well, I agree with that statement for sure. The question is on his success rate within certain leagues.
All right, Gobby, you got any parting thoughts?
Just a quick heads up, or not heads up, but props to Scott McKennis, who just brought out clips from 2006 National Championship in Kelowna, which I was part of. And I was watching that, and they're talking about Derek Penner, but I think Nick Penner was in that tournament. Don't know if Derek was. I saw you pulling Earl Wilson, and it looks like Scott's getting a little bit more active in terms of traveling, filming, and pushing out these old videos. And good job, Scott. Keep it up, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, the Arm Sport Videos archive is slowly making its way over to YouTube, which I think is very smart. And I think that if Arm TV would have done the same thing, Gary could be generating a nice little income off of the what he'd be doing on YouTube here. So there is that. And then, of course, Scott, because he mentioned it, he's thrown it out there, October 26th, New England Championships.
Yeah.
So thanks again to our sponsors, Smirnoff Ice and Ready Go Garb. Visit them at readygo.ca. And a reminder, once again, send your questions to CanadianGangsters@gmail.com. And at the end of the month, of every month, there's going to be a $40 coupon code for readygo.ca that we will award to the most thought-provoking and interesting question as decided by us.
Or the first woman that sends me a lasagna. How about that? Does that work too?
No. Veto.
Fair enough.
All right, everybody. See you next week. We're lining up a guest. We don't know who it's going to be for sure yet, but we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.